Hi. So CD Projekt Red has unionized, or is going to unionize, or is about to unionize. I don't know, but that's what I want to answer today: is what's going on with this CD Projekt Red unionization, and going through it, how good it is for the gaming industry as a whole. So, if you look at the link that's provided in the description as well, it's a Polish one, but obviously Google Translate and whatnot. Polish Game Dev Workers Union has released a Q&A, basically answering questions of people who want to know more about unions and how specifically this relates to CD Projekt Red, which is, really good for them. And again, I advise you to go check it out. So let's start. Question: what is a union? We're going to speedrun these first few ones and get to the real meaty one. A union is a group of people that comes together to improve their workplace / industry standards in a way that has legal power and amplifies their voice. Simple stuff. What does the union do? What are the benefits of joining a union? It gives workers bargaining power and unified voice of fair working conditions and transparency of company operations. If you want to know more, check What Changes the Workplace After Establishing a Labor Unionization brochure, or ask us directly. I highly recommend you, if any of you are clicking the link, please do that. It's also very informative. What are the fees? There is a monthly fee of 16 PLN/month, and that's not too much from what I understand in Polish money. That's not a huge part of your salary, especially because when you do give it, and this is one thing that a lot of people sort of misunderstand with unions, and that is when you join a union, you're not given like half your paycheck to the union. What you're doing when you're joining a union is giving them a small amount, and that small amount, while can be used for other things that you may want, is a lot more beneficial for you in the long term. As it says here, up here it says, improve their workplace and industry standards, which is, really good. And also then here, which is, it makes working conditions better, but also additionally it also gives them more money, because when you can bargain for higher wages, because you can all just go on strike, which then forces them to give you more money, which, in the long term, this isn't going to be that detrimental to lose. What is the money for? As it says here, a small part of it, 6 PLN, supports the OZZ IP as a whole, and the rest stays with our game dev focus commission. We will use this money to create promotional material, collaborate on long-term union policy, and funding training for union members. Again, are there any risks? There's no legal risks to joining the union. Your membership will be anonymous, not to mention that dismissing someone because of unionizing is illegal. You decide if and to whom to reveal your affiliation on your own terms. And this is important as well, because there's no, at least in most developed countries, no legal, there's no legal limitation to joining a union. You're not doing an illegal action if you do join a union, but a lot of companies will try to find excuses to fire you or to limit you in some way, because they know what unionization means, and that means people have a lot more power to decide on how things work. And that usually does mean that a business like Microsoft or Activision loses money, but the thing is, they're losing how much money How much money do they make, like these big shareholders and CEOs? Like $100 million. Like, oh, you're losing some money. No longer is it 100 million, it's like what, like $90 million. Like, oh no, what a tragedy, I hope you don't end up on the street. So it's not really going to harm them in any real way. And this is one of the things that I think this is really important, especially for the gaming industry and industries relating to the game industry, like VFX, CGI and stuff like that. Aren't unions for factory workers and miners? Why do we need a game union? Modern trade unions cover many different industries, including IT and game dev. You can see some examples: Games Workers Society and Games Workers Unity.org. Please do check these ones out, it's pretty good. Trade unions are especially important for game dev, as most people come out here of passion, and this is a very important paragraph over here, and passion can be easily exploited, leading to long working hours, lower pay, and eventually burning out. A union is meant to minimize all of the above, letting your passion grow and thrive instead of using it as fuel. Game dev working conditions also tend to burn creatives earlier and making them switch industries, which systematically reduces the number of people able to make a difference. Now, this is an extremely important answer for a bunch of reasons. Because it reveals a lot. Game developers are mad people. Their industry is so toxic and so exploitative of them that it is. You have to ask the question, why do they keep putting up with it? And the simple reason is passion. Game developers have a passion for game making. And this really, for me, is important to point out, because no game developer goes into the game industry to be a greedy person. No one does that. If they did, they would have just switched to a different industry, as it says here. And again, like an industry like IT, for a coder, for like a game developer who does coding, will make more money in IT than they will as a game developer, which is shocking. Because being a game developer, not that being in IT is not work at all, but coding as a game developer, you have to put a lot more effort and you have a lot more of a wider skill set for coding than you do in IT. And same with like other positions in game development, especially like animators. Like animators will get a lot more money in different fields than in a game development field. It's wild how so many people, gamers and whatnot, think that developers are lazy and greedy and whatnot, when that just simply isn't the case. If you look at the conditions that game developers are in, the only people who would ever accept those conditions are people who are there for passion, who want to make a good game, who want to make art. But obviously, as this answer points out correctly, passion can be easily exploited, which is done virulently, especially with CD Projekt Red, which has laid off so many employees, I think 3 times, and has crunched them to no end. No developer would stay there without feeling passionate for what they were doing. And again, this is a very important thing. Why do you organize a union? We started talking about unionizing after the 2023 wave layoffs, when 99% of Reds, that is roughly 100 people, were let go. This event created a tremendous amount of stress and insecurity affecting our mental health and leading to the creation of this union in response. Having a union means having more security, transparency, better protection, and a stronger voice in times of crisis. The above shows how employers tend to view their interests to be in conflict with those of their employees. While employees are the ones creating value in this arrangement, they lack any decision power in corporate structure-related matters. This is why we need to organize to enter those situations on equal footing. We believe that mass layoffs are a danger to the game dev industry, and we believe that unionizing is the way for us to preserve the potential. Now, a lot of people who dislike unions, or who may spot some issue that they think in this one, is, well, is it not in the company's right to fire employees when they feel like they're no longer contributing to the company? And that is kind of missing the point. It's not that they are allowed to fire. It's not that's the issue. It's more that the way that they're being fired and the reasons they're being fired. They're not being fired because the company can't keep them on. They're being fired because the company doesn't wants to have more profits. The reason they're firing them isn't, oh, we can't sustain them, we have to scale down. It's, no, we can keep this many people on board, we just don't want to. We want more money. And that's the simple reason why CD Projekt has laid off these people for so many times. Is because either they were done with the project and then they could scale it down because the project that they were going to do next didn't need that many people, and so as they were scaling up to the new projects need, they would lay off those people again because, they didn't need them for the next project, which again doesn't make a lot of sense for a lot of reasons, because it, as this answer points out correctly, it creates a tremendous amount of stress and insecurity affecting mental health and leading to the creation of, which led to this creation of the union. This sort of feeling of it could be me or all my friends that I've known for a long time are now just gone, I don't know what to do. That is again, a huge disadvantage to layoffs, and why layoffs aren't really that good for both the people working there and for the next project, because now you're removing people who may have had knowledge that could have made the next project better, or could have improved on what was before a bad product, or it could just, increase their skill sets, making the next product better. Are you an independent union or part of a larger organization? We are a section of OZZIP, a large nationwide union covering many different sectors and companies. It means that we have access to legal support, experience, and network of a larger union, while being able to independently operate within our section. We have full control over what we do and how we do it. Are there any, and this is just some technical stuff, it's still important to know, but not too important, at least for what I'm wanting to cover. Are there any obligations, responsibilities for union members? There are no enforced responsibilities for union members, although we ask you to join our internal communications channels and keep an eye on the announcements. We will also meet together, so just some stuff like that. Unions aren't like a 24-second job type of thing. They're just like a thing that you join, and eventually you'll get a phone call or text message saying hey, we're gonna do this strike thing, or we're gonna do this one specific thing, come join if you can. That'll be really good. It's the unions aren't another job. They're just a they're like a thing you do for an hour or two, not really that much. Will the company / other workers know if I join? Union membership is anonymous, which is also important because, again, a lot of companies in the Western world and rest of the world don't really like unions, and when you announce your union membership publicly, they will out you out, and usually an example to why other people shouldn't unionize, which again is very dumb. What are your goals? We want to build a collective. We want to operate as a support system that actively works to protect employees and holds a stronger negotiating position. Right now, we are focusing our grouping Reds to give us a unique common voice. Given the significant changes that CD Projekt Red is undergoing, we want the employee's voice to be directly heard when making decisions that affect all of us. We also want to increase employment stability. Unionization guarantees us the ability to negotiate the terms of mass layoffs as well as in individual cases. In the long run, we also want our voices as employees to be heard more often and more clearly in matters of working conditions, which is also important, right? These goals are, again, goals that anyone should want. Any sane person who may be reading this or watching this is going to be yeah, this is a good reason to unionize. This makes sense and people should do this. But obviously, without a union, they can't do that. They need a union because, again, to collectively bargain. Because just bargaining on one-on-one is fine, but bargaining by a whole group is a lot more stronger and gives them a lot more power. Especially because, again, these game developers are making the game. CD Projekt Red, higher ups or whatnot, may be offering the job and offering the actual resources to make the game, but they aren't the ones who are actually making the game. They aren't the ones who are putting in the experience, skill, heart into it. And this is very important. What are your plans for the near future? First and foremost, to gather more people. A union is strong as the sums of its members. More people means more input in our process, more legitimacy, and more democracy, which is also important. Unions are a form of democracy because, again, you can, not democratically in every instance, but you can all collectively come together and decide on what you want to do going forward. We also already reached out to the board and want to establish a dialogue between us and them that is stable and reliable. We are also currently in what is effectively a trial period, a period in which a union is being legally established but doesn't yet have all of its governing bodies in place. This period will end for us in mid-December, when we will have a larger statutory meeting, during which we ultimately root ourselves in a proper position. We will also establish a contact with a group of union activists in other game companies, and we join forces to cooperate and establish a better industry and job market for us all. And again, this is pretty good. How do you join? And this is obviously specifically for the Polish one, but obviously there's an English version for any people who can speak English and whatnot. But again, this is mostly a Polish one, but again, it's still important for the industry as a whole. What do union representatives do? The representatives are union members who focus in on, as the title suggests, representation. They are the union's main negotiators and the contact with the company. They also function as points of contact for employees willing to join a union. Now, here is specifically relating to like CD Projekt Red stuff. Can I join if I don't work at CDPR? I don't know why they didn't have the R there. Weird. Will not be working in X amount of time. Yes, you can. However, workplace-specific benefits will not apply to you until we gather a large enough group for us to establish our commission in your workplace as well. So this can expand to other unions, probably not beyond, not an international one, but at least specifically in Poland. Why would I want to join as a non-CDP worker? You will become part of an industry-wide support network, which again, here's that answer. You exchange experience and know how with your peers get the support of an organization if the need arises. And if you gather a group willing to work within your employer, you can establish a formal representation within your company, which is pretty good. What do I need to get What do I need to get workplace-specific benefits of joining the union as a CD Projekt Red worker? You need to be employed by CDPR SA with a Polish contractor. Can I join? And obviously this is then just specifically saying like, hey, how can I join? How can I do this and whatnot? And yeah, the rest of them are important, like how can you help? You can obviously like give them some donations or whatever you want to do, or just discuss with them and how you can help them. But yeah, this is a good thing for the gaming industry as a whole, for again multiple reasons. One, it allows the actual people who are making the games to have a lot more say in what's going on, from the granular decisions of like what the game should be to the more bigger decisions of what the game should have as features and whatnot. Because a lot of the things that may be issues with the game industry is compromises that they have to make with people on the top, which sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but oftentimes it's invalidating the vision of the people on the top. There are many stories, game mechanics, and games that don't exist simply because it's not profitable enough. And whether or not those games, those ideas, those stories are good or not is irrelevant, because the point is they should be allowed to do it and see how it is. They should have their passion lead towards them. And we can see the most successful games are when the passion is when the game is the culmination of the passion of the game developers. We've seen this with recently Baldur's Gate 3, which is a extremely passionate project. Whether or not you like it, you still have to accept the fact that it is a passionate project done by people who had the time, ability, and no oversight to accomplish that goal. And for CD Projekt Red, this is important for them because they've been faced with a lot of harassment, a lot of long working hours, and have broken a lot of family relationships because if they didn't work, they would be fired and have no job whatsoever. So again, and this unionization sets a precedent for other people across the world that joining a game developer union is a good idea. It helps you, and I'll be eagerly looking forward to seeing what happens with this. So yeah, thank you for watching. If you want to see the union itself, it'll be in the link in the description. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.